You nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
Like if you come in this business just wanting $1, you're gonna burn out quick. What does the word clutch mean to you?
Oh man, what are you gonna do in the moment?
Coming through at the right time.
Going through shits and you're back against the wall.
Like coming in at the last minute and saving the day.
Clutch, you gotta be in the moment. You gotta believe in yourself.
It means to me, fourth quarter, the game is tied. Coach is asking, do you want the ball on this play?
You gotta know, hey, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. And if I can't do it, who do I partner with to make it happen? And if I do partner with them, what value do I bring them and make it happen?
Clutch time, baby. It's like this is where champions are made. This is where the GOAT is developed.
Welcome to another episode of Clutch Entrepreneurs. Today I got a special guest, a creative real estate investor who does residential and industrial deals. That's a little different than what you're used to, all right? So, for example, he created a $1.6 million portfolio in less than 90 days that cash flows $65,000 a year. That's actually a good salary. Like, honestly, I only pay myself like $6,000 a month, so that's kind of like the same thing. You got my salary in one deal. So, and just to say, look, $155,000 wholesale deal in one deal. He just done it. All right, so you're gonna want to learn from this guy, all right? My guest today, Anthony Hernandez, AKA the real estate hero.
How's it going? How's it going?
Man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, my brother. We're gonna tear it up. I know we've been talking for a long time about doing this.
Thanks, man. Of course. Yes, a long time coming.
So, man, before we even start and getting into the good stuff, man, I just want to, just for the viewers, who is Anthony? Who's the real estate hero before the success?
Man, great question. Man, so before the success, man, I was a child growing up with a single mom. My father had left when I was 5, and so all I knew was my mom. Didn't have a man in our life for some time, and so growing up, it was always tough back and forth. By the age of 16, I had been kicked out of the house. I had to, find somewhere to live. From then on, man, it was like me against the world kind of mentality. So I kept on going. And before I got into real estate, I finished high school. I ended up working for a Fortune 500 bank, and it was cool as a supervisor, and it was doing great, man. But there was more, and I felt like I just had too much ambition to be inside that office. And so before I got into real estate, I was doing banking. And before banking, bro, I was working in automotive industry, landscaping, plumbing, anything that I could do to get my hands wet to make some money. Little did I know, everything that I was doing was preparing me to be an investor at some point.
Nice.
Flipping houses, roofs, cutting grass, landscaping, all of that comes back later.
So basically, you feel like everything led up to where you're at right now.
I really do.
You learned a lot of skills.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So tell us, so you said you were working for corporate America?
Yeah, I was working for IBC Bank, actually.
Okay. So how did you get into real estate investing?
Man, it's a long story, but in a short version, man, I had a brother-in-law at the time who didn't know that he was wholesaling, and he had mentioned it one day. He's like, hey, I got this contract, and this lady gave it to me, and I called this company, and it was like a brokerage, like a New Western kind of thing. He's like, and they gave me $8,000 for it. I said, they gave you $8,000 for a house? And I was like, wow. And then after that, it intrigued me, man. And from then on, I started Googling and started YouTubing. What is real estate? What is wholesale? So I thought I had to be a realtor.
Yeah.
And as I went down the rabbit hole, I realized I didn't have to be a realtor to be into real estate and what other avenues there were.
Nice. So your brother-in-law was a realtor?
Nah, he was actually a hustlepreneur. He does everything under the sun, bro. Anything that he can do to make some money at the time, he was doing it. And so he stumbled across this contract, and someone told him, if you go door knocking, you can make some money. So he was trying that, and that's how it happened. And I wasn't involved in it. I was working at the bank. It was after I left the bank because I was terminated. And when I left the bank, that's when I was like, man, I remember him saying something. And so I Googled, and I went from there, man. And before I knew it, I was a YouTube taught kind of investor.
Same. So you learned from YouTube University.
Exactly, bro.
You know what? It's funny. It's full circle. Here we are right now, and now you're teaching on YouTube University.
Let's go.
So man, that's pretty cool. So I guess everybody gets into real estate investing their own way, and it takes a little bit longer for others. And sometimes people, they got it, or to me, it's like you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
Some people it's just like, man, they can. I see people, they bust their ass, bro, trying to get deals. Like they're cold calling all day, like they're putting in work, and it just doesn't work out.
Very true.
What do you think is the difference between the people that don't succeed in this business and the people that do?
I think one of the biggest differences that I see that happens a lot of the people that I end up talking to that are having trouble getting a lead or they're having trouble in their journey is the way they entered it, right? They entered the journey wanting to get rich. They entered the journey, I'm going to make this amount of money and that's what I'm going to do because I heard that's the fastest way to get rich. And I think when they go in with that mentality, they already limited their thinking. Their whole plane is limited to, if I don't make no money now, I failed.
Damn.
You know, in 3 months, 6 months goes by, and they're like, everybody said this is how you get rich, and I didn't get a sale, and they leave. You know what I mean? And so I think the biggest difference is the people that come in with the mentality of other than service is never going to get rich. If you come in like, hey, I'm here to provide a service, and my service is going to be better than all the other 10 people you talk to on the phone, and here's why, then you get more money, you'll get more clients, you'll get more volume when you come with a service-first attitude. And I think for me, that's how I came into the industry was how can I help these people? Hey, I know you're about to lose your house. I'll tell you what, let me see if I can help you keep your house, and here's how. Instead of saying, hey, you're going to lose your house and just pouncing on it, I came in with, hey, I want you to help save your house, and if it doesn't work out, then I'll be your plan B. And in being plan B, which is the sales side, it worked out for me, bro.
Man, that's fire, bro. Like, I think that's a huge, like, you nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
Like, if you come in this business just wanting $1, you're going to burn out quick.
Fast, bro.
Because I tell people, like, for instance, I was talking to some guy yesterday, and he was just, like, saying how bad he wants to make money, he'll do it, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, man, you're in it for the wrong, like, you don't, like, yeah, we make this look easy. But it's not easy. Like, you're gonna, if all you want is $1, you're gonna burn yourself out in the first like 90 days.
Fast.
You know what I mean? So that's like a huge point, guys. So if you are watching right now, remember to make the purpose bigger than money. It's so true. So like I was telling Nico the other day, we're talking. I was just like, one thing I like to study the greats, right? We're called Clutch. I'm real into sports, right? So I'm into sports because of the Spurs. So I would like remember we were the best of the best. So we'd always play the best of the best. And I would always be like, man, what makes these guys special? Yeah. Like what makes them special, right? Like Kobe and just guys like at that level. And I remember thinking like I would research all these top guys, and to me their one trait was they didn't care about anything other than being the best at their craft. Yeah. Nothing. Like nothing. They didn't care about money. They didn't care about fame. They didn't care about anything other than they want to be the best basketball player, boxer, soccer player, wholesaler, investor, whatever. That's what they want, and everything else followed. Yep. Michael Jordan didn't care about being a billionaire, bro. He wanted to be the greatest basketball player of all time. That's it. LeBron James wanted to be the best basketball player of all time. He said it. And what happens when you chase greatness, when you focus on just that being the best at your craft, the money comes.
Follows.
It follows you.
Every day.
The notoriety, whatever you're looking for, that's just a bonus. But mastering your craft will get you everything you want in life.
Yep. He did what he loved first, and then the money came after.
That's it. Like that freaking soccer player just got offered $750 million for 1 year.
That's insane. LeBron didn't even make that in his whole contract.
Bro, I think they put like the top 50 NBA players, and he's making more than all that. Like, it's ridiculous. Just being the best soccer player in the world.
Soccer money is different, bro.
But you know what's crazy? Watch this. He declined it.
Wow. I didn't hear that part.
I just saw this last night.
Wow.
He declined it to go play with Real Madrid because he wants to compete at the highest level. He's like, yeah, I can go make a Billy real quick, but he's not competing with nobody. That's just like what we just said. Exactly. He just wants to be the best and prove
legacy.
it.
He wants his legacy there, bro.
Dude, that's crazy.
The money will follow later.
Yeah,
he can retire over there later.
Exactly. So I thought that was a really good point.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro.
So going back to real estate investing, do you remember making your first 6 figures?
I do, man. I do. And what's funny about my first 6 figures is that when I actually tell some of the big industry guys, such as yourself, such as Aaron Bevins, I've told this to Logan Fomer, I've told this to David Olds. I can go on with the people that I've told this to, and they all have the same. They're shocked. I made my first $100,000 off of mailers, straight up piece of paper, ballpoint pen. and some mailers. That was my first 100K, bro.
So what do you mean by that for the people like that don't like my viewers that are just getting started? What do you mean by a mailer? What's a mailer?
So a mailer is basically getting a piece of mail, and you basically send it to the vacant address or the actual person who has the ownership of the home, and you send them a mailer, which is going to say, hey, you know, my name's Anthony. I was in the neighborhood and I was interested in purchasing your house. Would you be interested? And this mailer goes to their house and they open it. I made my first 6 figures off of a mailer, and here's the difference that a lot of people don't do is they hire a third-party company to send a robotic mailer to their house. It's a printed paper. It looks just like a normal bill or an advertisement.
Like typed out, right?
Typed out, bro.
Yeah.
Real generic.
Yeah.
What we did differently was I was getting a yellow piece of paper, which if you look up the stats, guys, the color yellow, what it does to the human psyche is it's considered friendship. It's considered warming. And you don't know that yet, guys, but what color is Snapchat? There you go. It's yellow. Here's another color, blue. Blue is a symbol of comfort, right? Blue Cross Blue Shield. What color is that for medical to help you? It's blue. Facebook, blue. Twitter, blue. I can keep going, guys. And so these colors.
Hold on, before we go, what is red?
Red,
Yeah, my color.
red is going to stop you. Red is like basically your high entertainment stuff. Your McDonald's, right, is red. What else is red that you can think of right off the top?
Shit, I don't know, clutch.
There we go. And what does it do? It stops you in your tracks. Red is not only to stop you, but it's also the identification color, right? Red stop sign. You got red Lamborghinis where everybody stops to look at that red exotic car. It's a showstopper. That's what red is. It's also associated with angry. It's associated with aggression.
Okay.
So
I'm very aggressive.
Yeah. So, but it's a great color because
Not in a bad way.
it can set the tone.
Yeah.
You know, if clutch would have been in yellow, it might not have had the same vibe.
We would just be hugging each other. and
We
shit,
might be hugging
on
each
some
other.
warm shit.
Yeah, because the color in the human psyche says is that's a warm, inviting color. And so
Hey, that's bars right there.
yeah, so then when I was doing the mailers, I just basically wrote it on the yellow paper. I made sure it was only 2 sentences. And here's the trick is I signed every single letter. And when you sign every single letter, guys, the people actually call you back. And the first thing they would say is this Anthony? Is this really you? Yes, ma'am. Why? How is that? Well, you signed my letter. And all they cared about was that I wasn't somebody that was overstayed. I wasn't somebody that was trying to knock them on the head. They weren't one of 10,000 people who got a generated letter. They got a physical signed ballpoint pen letter. And that's what they were calling, bro. That's as simple as it was.
I like that, man. So you think so that was the biggest difference? Just handwriting it?
I think handwriting and the message. So if anybody wants my mailer, I will give it to you for free. If you like or comment in the thing mailer, I will send it to JR's team, guys, and y'all can have my personal mailer, and all you got to do is sign it, and hopefully you'll make your first 100K, guys.
Fire. There you go. That's what I'm talking about right there, guys. So make sure you heard him first. Comment, share with your friends, all that, and he's going to send you his personal mailer that made him $100,000 in his first year. I know you need that in your arsenal, right? You need that in your tool belt. So give me like a quick rundown on this letter. What do you say in the letter?
Basically, I keep it short and sweet. So my first thing is going to be, hey, I was in the neighborhood and I noticed your property, et cetera, et cetera. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in a fair offer with true transparency, and I'll provide you detail. If you're able to move forward, your house is approved with our company.
Just simple as that.
Pretty simple.
So it kind of said the same thing on everything with the new address?
With the new address, and I re-signed it. What happened was they would call me and they would say, I'm approved for how much? The first thing they'd call is say, hey, Anthony, is this Anthony? Yeah. You signed the letter? Yes, ma'am. So how much is my house approved for? They didn't care that where I found the house, how I found their number. They just wanted to know how much their house was approved for.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
Yeah. And so at that point, you run your numbers and you shoot an offer.
Okay. And so you wrote every one of these by hand?
When I first started, I was writing them by hand.
We're talking about first 100,000.
No, not the first 100. I would say
no,
the
$100,000.
No, I would say I probably did it for my first 6 months. I was handwriting them.
So how many do you think you were writing a week?
I was probably writing about 72 letters a week.
So what does that come out to a day? Like 10?
About.
So 10 letters. That hurt your hand.
It
I
was-
started getting a
let me
little
see.
cramp.
Yeah. If I did Monday through Sunday, it was about 10 letters a day.
That's
bro.
hustling.
10 letters a day. And my theory was every time I sent out 50 letters, I ended up getting 2 to 3 contracts. And so
Damn.
I was like, okay. And these contract spreads were about $20,000 a mailer. So in my head, I said, I'm sending out $20,000 letters.
Damn.
Every letter is a $20,000 letter, a $10,000 letter.
Boy, I'm gonna go to HEB right
And
now.
so, and so,
Where we at?
And then what we also learned is 80% of the people that called back from the letter were between the ages of 70 and 90.
Between 70 and 90.
They're
So
the
were you
ones-
targeting older people?
No, I think
happened
what
to be
happened
like
is
that.
those are the ones who were opening their mail.
Makes sense, girl. Because if you go to my office right now, you can see a stack of letters like this tall. I don't read shit, but it makes sense. Damn.
And it
Okay.
gets even deeper, right? Because we ended up wondering why were they the only ones calling and why were nobody younger calling in.
Yeah.
So we got to remember that when you skip trace, it's coming off the United States Post Office list, which is most likely the one that they're using. When these people are older, they're not filling out credit reports no more. They're not buying houses no more. They're not buying cars. So all that public data that we normally would have had is from 1962, 1975.
Crazy.
Guess what happens? They still live in the house and they're still opening their mail. They changed their number. You know, grandma came in or their daughter's now older. Hey, mom, you don't need this phone and that phone. Here's the phone that I'm going to call you on. And they take over.
Right.
But they still walk to their mailbox.
Damn.
They still water their grass in the morning. So
Yeah.
that was untapped. And so that's how I made that extra 100K was dealing with that demographic of older people.
That's a bar, bro. For real, for real.
Crazy, bro.
No, but it's crazy because, bro, I don't open any mail. I
Yeah.
swear, I got a stack like this. I'm going to show you after. So the way you reach me, so that's crazy because you reach different people by different forms of, like, right? So
Yeah.
mailers, older people. Me, I would probably be a text message,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I don't answer really if I don't know the number. So that's very interesting, man. Very interesting. Man, let's talk about the swag, man. How'd you get so swagged out, bro? Where do you get your swag? Like, to me, I always tell you, bro, like, you get that Miami swag. It's just different. Where'd you come up with your style?
Man, I appreciate it, man. And to be honest, I've always been one of the quieter kids in the back, and I think since I was one of the more quiet ones in the back, I had to figure a way to stand out. And so my way of standing out was just to dress fun, just dress
I like
live,
it.
bro. And so I started doing that, and then somewhere down the line, I met a beautiful woman who I made my wife, and she's a super fashionista, forward kind of lady. She's in the hottest of the hottest stuff. And so she also helps me sometimes with my gear and be like, hey, this color doesn't or that color doesn't. And but mostly, man, I love fashion too, man. I feel like if you look good, you play good,
There you
you
go.
act good, and everything else falls in between.
Bars. Exactly. You know how they say it, guys. I've said it multiple times. Let me say it again. You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play
Exactly.
good, they pay good. Let's get these deals, baby.
I love that part.
So now I just want to touch on that because you always fly. Always fly.
Appreciate you, my man.
So man, one big topic I wanted to talk about that I think that you do that a lot of people don't do, because there's always a lot of there's already a lot of content on wholesaling, right? Single family houses, but you do something a little bit different. I mean, you do both, but the industrial,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a thing that I don't hear too much about, and I want to because I hear about it and I know there's big money. So it's the same concept as what we do in the wholesaling with the houses, but you're doing like warehouses and land and everything that's zoned industrial,
Correct.
right? So tell me a little bit about that, man. How'd you get into that?
The industrial side, I want to say I got into it when I kept on seeing giant warehouses that were empty. And I was wondering who buys those, who owns those. Same thing with land. I was driving all the way to Houston, and there was so much land going down the highway. I was like, who owns this? It's in the middle of nowhere. And I ended up getting on PropStream, and I started just doing it right there as I drove, locking up deals.
Industrials?
Industrials.
Okay.
And the other part of that got me into it was one of my mentors that I work with constantly named Logan Fomer. He has a big space in the industrial space. And he's been one of the guys that helped pioneer what I've done a lot in my career. When I first started out, he would there and pick up the phone call. He would be there to, I'd call Logan probably one time at about 6:45 in the morning, and he'd answer, and we talk, and he'd shoot the shit with me and say, hey, this deal is horrible. Call me back with a better one. And he'd say, hey, this deal works, but you need it here. And so I learned a lot when it came to historical and industrial from just some of the gems Then I pioneered that into a bunch of research, and I realized I am sleeping on industrial, the spreads, the NOI, the evaluation. And from there, I figured out, how do we get industrial deals? What does it take? And it is a different monster than residential, but the spreads are 6-figure spreads. You know what I mean? You're looking at 50,000 and up, which, you know, compared to residential, it's a little tougher. And doing industrial, I think a lot of people have this misconception that it's hard. And to be honest, one of the biggest things that I was told is the same thing that you do for a residential deal to close, you're doing the same thing for an industrial deal, just with a bigger number. And it just takes a longer time to close.
So real quick for my audience, what defines an industrial lead?
An industrial, well, let's go with an industrial building, guys. An industrial building is going to be any building that's used for consumable goods. It's going to be used for storage. It can be used for flex space. Basically, it's a business that's going to come into that facility and it's going to use it to manufacture stuff. And so that's what comes up under the industrial zoning. And when it comes to an industrial building, we're looking at warehouses. You're looking at flex spaces. You're looking at storage units. Cold storage, stuff like that will fall under the industrial terminology.
Okay.
And those are a little different than residential, but they're easy to spot.
Gotcha. So what? So like, if somebody wanted to get started in this, let's just say you were starting all over and you want to do industrial, what's the first move you make?
Knowing what I know now, I would incorporate systems. And I would probably get with PropStream, and I would download PropStream first.
Okay. And why would you download PropStream?
The reason I would download PropStream, and this is not for my affiliation, is PropStream actually is one of the only programs, guys, that actually has a tab that says industrial. Super simple. And you literally can click industrial, put in the city, and it's going to give you all the industrial buildings that are available in your city. You can literally get on the phone.
On market and off market?
And on off market.
Damn.
And there's actually a hidden tab that people don't know on PropStream on the very bottom that's grayed out. It says include all off-market off-sales. These are people that thought about selling, but they no longer want to sell, but they once said it at one time. It was listed somewhere. PropStream will go and grab that data and allow you to call it. What happens is when you call that data, they're like, how did you know I want to sell? And you bring it back around. And that industrial list works, bro. And now you got a whole list of industrial leads. PropStream will skip it for you. And then literally you're just cold calling it you can even call from PropStream.
Damn. That
Incredible,
sounds easy.
bro. Easy.
So, okay, so let's just say, but is it kind of like similar to single family houses where you're looking for vacant ones that aren't being used for business?
No, it's gonna give you everything. Now you can filter it to be vacant, but really it's okay. What I've learned in commercial is it doesn't matter if somebody's actually operating out of the building. They'll still either sell or they're actually leasing it or renting it from the actual owner. And so you're still able to do a deal. And what we've done sometimes is we've made offers to owners who are leasing out the building to take it over with already an occupied tenant making rent. So now you can instantly cash flow, or you can raise the rent on them on a triple lease net, which is what people love in industrial is, hey, can I get a triple lease on this property? And for those that don't know, triple lease means that whoever owns the building, whoever's renting the building, is responsible for all the cost of the building. So as you own the building and you're selling it to them or renting it to them, you're getting a whole bunch of cash flow, and they're paying the taxes, the insurance, the payments.
That's interesting.
Everything, bro. And that's a triple lease now.
But going back, like if you just want to wholesale it, would they be better off if they're vacant?
They would be, but it still wouldn't be too bad because you can also charge them for a lease back.
Gotcha.
But it is always better vacant.
All right, so you get the list, you start calling these people. How do they know like how to talk to them though? Like what are the questions they ask?
So some of the basic questions you want to call when you call an industrial list is, first you want to make sure they're motivated. The second thing you want to find out is the simple things, right? So in a residential home, you want to ask in a residential, hey, what's wrong with the house? How bad is the condition? Well, in an industrial deal, it's opposite. You want to ask what's their NOI, their net operating expense. You also want to look into their market performance. How is this building would perform if we put it on the market in the area? What else is selling? You want to look at the cap rate. You want to go ahead and look at their total taxes, how much is coming out. A lot of times we learn that the net operating expense, a lot of people don't include their taxes. So while they think they have a 7% cap rate, it's actually lower because they're not including their full taxes. Then then you want to look at the economic growth. You want to look at the lease rates and say, hey, building B down the street is charging $1,700 a unit. This one's over here at $600. Can I improve the pro forma of this building? And so once you start to evaluate that building, you realize that 9 out of 10 times, guys, every time that I've personally spoken to an industrial seller, they are always under value of what they're asking for. And you either can A, give them that number, or B, you can work it a little bit backwards. But 9 out of 10 times, the normal seller doesn't know how to evaluate their industrial property, thus leaving a ton of money on the board for you to make 6 figures on a deal.
I got me excited.
It's insane.
So to me, I think the only, like, just looking from the outside in would be finding buyers. It's like a lot smaller group.
It is.
So how do you go about that?
So there's a couple different routes, you know. So there's an actual website where you can go find, and you can actually pay $1,000. I believe the website is a $5,000 subscription fee to get in for a year.
$5,000 a year?
$5,000 a year.
Damn. Okay.
On this list, it's nothing but qualified commercial buyers, industrial buyers, and hedge fund buyers. These are guys that are actually buying now, and it has what they buy at, what their last purchase was, what they're looking for. And you can literally go to this website, if you have the capital, of course, and you can just contact them and sell an industrial lot to them fast, because that's what they already want.
Man, that sounds crazy. Look,
I'll give you the website when we get off.
Okay, how about this? If y'all wait all the way to the end, we'll drop the website for you.
We'll give y'all the website.
No.
Because they still have to pay for the subscription.
No. You know what? Drop a comment with the word website, and we'll get to you and send it to you. How about that?
I think that's a good one. Good one.
All right. So that's kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and then of course you can also just go to PropStream, go to the buyer section, and download buyers that just bought industrial, and start cold calling them to build your list.
Oh, there you go. There's a freebie right there. Well, the other one's gonna be free too, because you still got to drop it. But
yeah,
but this is the gold mine. It sounds like.
Oh, it's incredible, man.
Okay, so basically we did that. We kind of put it in a nutshell. So he's saying you get PropStream. Also, we have a discount for you on PropStream. Drop the word PropStream if you want the discount. And then that's how they're gonna get the data, the list, to cold call. Within this app, they can get the phone number to call.
Yep, they sure can.
All right. And then they're gonna start making offers. So on that, you're gonna do a little bit of research on how to make your offers on commercial properties, basically, right?
Correct.
So on that, you're basically gonna get the NOIs on the property.
Yeah.
And he already explained how to do that. And then once you get a property that it looks like a deal has got good NOI and you know it's a deal, then you go to this either PropStream and look under the buyers for industrial, or you could go to this website where it's $5,000 a year, and boom, you put all to that together. You sign it up with a seller, you assign it to a buyer, and that is how you wholesale industrial.
It is. It's exactly how it goes. And this website's like Investor Lift on steroids.
Oh,
it's like
dang.
it's just different. Like these people are just like,
I honestly thought you were gonna say Investor Lift, but it's a different website.
No, bro, it's a different one. Yeah,
all right.
It's insane.
I love that. All right, man. So, guys, if y'all got more questions on industrial and you want to see me and Anthony drop a vlog on industrial wholesaling, let us know in the comments.
Drop it.
And we will do that for you. We'll go to some. We will actually look.
We can actually probably walk an industrial site and show them what we're looking at, show them what looks bad, what to look for.
You know what? I got an idea. What if we go driving for dollars for industrial? We show them how to do it on PropStream.
Yeah.
We go and we make live offers.
That'll work, and we'll get somebody live, and y'all will see us be able to probably close a 6-figure deal on the phone.
Man, let me know if y'all want to see that, guys. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to see that. All right, man. So I know you're really good at raising private money, right? You don't necessarily have to use your own money in buying these deals, right?
Never.
So for the viewers that are watching and they're like, wait, what do you mean you don't got to use your own money? And they're like, what is private money? Can you explain that as simply as you can?
Yeah, private money basically is the ability for you to be able to source somebody with income that they have available that they're not using at the time. And your goal is to take that funds and multiply it. And the biggest question we always ask is, where do we get private money lenders? And I always tell people they're all around you. And they're all around you in terms of somebody in your family that could have retired, somebody that's inherited money, Somebody that's just a hard worker and they have a nest egg put to the side, you can literally help them turn that nest egg into a whole bird fest of eggs. You know what I mean? I mean, a whole damn carton of eggs, you know, but it also depends on what they have, what their motivation is. But I mean, we have some investors on our private monies that are teachers, firefighters, truck drivers, you know, stuff like that are normal jobs, and they're changing their lives by investing their hard-earned money.
Interesting. So give me an example. Let's just say, I guess you're going to start with the people you know. So let's just say I have an aunt, like you were saying earlier. My aunt, let's say my aunt has $100,000, right? And so what do I tell my aunt?
So I would go, and if your aunt had $100,000, right? First we'd say we'd want to identify if she wants to invest, and if she wanted to, we say, okay, so you have $100,000 to invest. Your next step would be is to find a property that they can invest in, and a package. And in that package, guys, you want to be able to structure what they're giving you and what they're getting out of the deal and the term period. Keep it simple. Don't go into percentages. Don't just, if they give you $40,000 and you're going to give them back $60,000, let them know it's going to be done in 6 months. Don't overcomplicate it. And yeah, you know, some people overcomplicate it and they're like, well, I'll give you 20% for every 100th that you get. Nobody wants to hear that. It's like, hey, if I give you $40K, can you give me back $50K? Or can you give me $60K? And what's the term period?
Gotcha.
And
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because a lot of times your private money investors are people that just want it simple. They don't want this super college educated explanation. How can I make money? When am I going to get it back?
Gotcha. That's pretty simple. So, okay, because let's just say I go to my aunt. She doesn't, never really seen me successful before. How do I convince her that her money's safe with me? How's her money protected?
Great. That's a good one. So it depends on how far someone is in their journey. For us specifically, we have other holding accounts that we give them reassurance. We also have accounts where some of our private investors use IRA accounts. They use Roth accounts. When you have stuff that gets a little bit more involved in that magnitude, you got to find a third party insurer or institution that's going to allow those transactions to function for you. Because sometimes people want to use their 401k. Well, you have to go through a certain method for it to get back to their account through wire transfers and all that. So you have to use third party people. In a particular situation where you're not involved, you don't have that much capital, to your point, you're saying, how can we give her a guarantee to protect her money? The first thing I would do is start small if you can't cover the budget. I personally don't ever want to take anything that I can't cover. And that's just me to have some kind of blanket, right? So if I go to JR and say, hey, JR, can I borrow 100K? If I lose your 100K, I better be able to pay you back your 100K. You know what I mean? Because
so there's no risks of losing their money.
There's no risk, at least for us. Because my thing is if I'm asking you to use your money, and I'm telling you that I have a proven sales process, and I have the credentials, I have the history trail, why would I fail when it got to yours? You know what I mean?
So I guess my question was more along the line of so if I'm asking my aunt for $100,000, is she gonna wire it to me? Or are we gonna buy something with it where she has a lien on it or something, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying what is her keep? Yes. Right. So sometimes we usually like to have them buy, and we'll let them be the first deed holder.
Okay.
And so we'll let them get on the paper so they feel nice about their deal. They see that it's a real document, and we'll let our private money lender be the first deed holder on that account, so they pretty much have peace of mind that they are the principal owner of it.
Gotcha. So. Because that's how I've never raised a penny. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
Wow.
I never tried.
Wow, you're so successful, bro.
I'm sure I could, but I've never tried. I've used all my own money, but because we're doing small deals, and so I have relationships with hard money lenders where it's like unlimited. I could buy whatever. Yeah. Right, because they know I'm good for it, and so I guess, but that's not me raising private money. It's just. It's almost like
it's a line of credit.
They're like a young institution almost. Yeah. Like they're balling. Like they got money. So to me, it's never been an issue to get the money I needed for my deals. I don't buy my deals cash. I leverage money every single time, mostly.
Every day.
Unless it's like a certain, whatever. But if I did, I was thinking once we get into bigger deals and stuff that traditional hard money lenders don't lend on, like commercial, land, big plots, stuff like that, I mean, I would probably say that I'd have to give them a lien. They'd have to have some sort of lien position, and they're not lending me money. They're owners of a property. As a lien, like a bank. Yeah. Right? That's how banks are protected.
That's the only way for them to feel comfortable with lending you that capital.
Yeah, so that's the way I would do it. But like I said, I've never done it. So
Nah, you're gonna get another. Here's another little secret, bro, that people don't realize that they so everybody does the exit strategies, right? Here's an exit strategy that nobody does.
Okay.
Everybody does seller finance, sub to. We do. What are the other ones? Buy and hold, flip. Am I missing one? So here's one that nobody does. That's another strategy to exit, not to lose the deal. You JV with the seller.
that's what people do on big deals.
Simple, bro.
Like where they own the land.
Yep, you
they
JV,
own the building.
JV with the seller.
Yeah, one of my boys. So I had him on the show, Yuri Uriah. He was flipping like a downtown building, bro, and I was like, damn, like what the fuck, this next level.
Oh
shit.
yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, man. Basically, the owner owned it, and we JV'd with them. He put up the building, we're putting up the remodel.
Whew.
I was just like, damn, like it's just that simple.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's not that. He was
That
like,
whole building, right? It's a big reno.
Downtown, I'm talking about like Broadway, bro.
Oh
Like,
wow.
like inside. The
Oh, it's that big building. It's like 20 stories high.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. It has a gate around it right now.
Yep. So that's funny that you brought up that point. Man, so I think we've been dropping bars on these people.
Yes, man.
Like if you haven't learned from this podcast, I got nothing for you. You just need too much. The only thing would be to us go like pull up on your sofa and teach you like this.
Right, with the whiteboard and everything.
If you're expecting that, you ain't gonna get very far.
They
So
got
guys,
a buyer's list, prop stream, all sorts of tickets, man.
yep. And guys, look, let me give you a quick bit of advice. I was listening to a book on the way to work the other day, and I think a problem a lot of people have nowadays is they're always looking for the next thing. Where can I make money? What is it? Oh, is it this? Is it that? Is it this? There's just way too much information right now. My thing is just to pick one and go like there. So the book was called The Acres of Diamonds.
Okay.
And what it was about was during the diamond rush, many long time ago, there was a story of somebody that owned a piece of land and he saw everybody getting rich off diamonds. And so he wanted to get on this journey and he was looking everywhere. He saw people making $1 million, $10 million. This is in the 1800s. And he was like, I want this. I'll travel my whole life to make, this is what I want. So he sold his property and he went looking all over the land and never found it. Died. He used all the money selling his land to go on this mission. He died never finding it. He drowned himself in the river.
Wow.
Just like he ran out of money. And the man that bought the land turned out to be the richest quarry of diamonds in the whole continent.
Was on his land.
Was on the land he sold.
My God.
And the story is basically just say, you do what you have with what you got where you're at. Or how does it go? Like
That's
you do,
bars, y'all. Man.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you do what you can with what you have right now. You use your resources. If you would have just looked at where he was at, he would have had the most profitable, richest quarry of diamonds ever.
Wow, bro. He was too busy looking at everybody else's
He was
yard,
too busy looking at everybody else's yard. So that's a bar, guys. Because I don't get me wrong, I even suffer from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
the age of social media. I'm like, damn, he just made how much?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What? Hold on, maybe I'm in the wrong business, right? But little do I know, it just like that keeps me grounded. Like, man, we're doing good. Let's just focus on the plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it'll come.
It does, bro.
So,
it really does.
I just want to drop that little story for y'all because I thought it was
No, that's
super
a great.
inspiring.
I'm actually going to read that book now just because I want to hear. I want to see it, how it came out to be, bro. It sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah, it's a very small book too. You can read it or listen to it very quickly. It's called The Acres of Diamonds.
Nice.
So the private money, we talked about that. I know before the show you were telling me about this this new what do you call it, like development you got going on?
Yeah. So we recently bought a commercial lot off of 410.
Okay.
Right there by Texas A&M Kingsville.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty proud of that one in the portfolio. It's actually my first privately and owned by myself commercial lot.
Nice.
And what we're doing is we're building a beauty point. And the beauty point that we're building, man, is going to be straight for women, by women, because of women. And you're going to have a facility on there that's going to be a storage container building that's unlike anywhere else in San Antonio. It's going to be really nice. I showed JR a couple of them. Y'all have to see it. It looks really nice,
We'll drop
guys.
a picture for y'all right here.
And it's basically going to have everything that a woman would need to go to this point, from tanning to Botox to haircuts to nails. I mean, you name it, the woman's going to go to this beautiful pink glass point to get a one-stop shop done.
Nice. And so what gave you the idea, bro, to do this?
Partially was the idea was I originally bought the land and I said I just want to throw a big office building, right? And my wife was like, hey, the beauty industry is $1 billion industry. She's also been dabbing into opening her own Botox facility. She's been looking into starting her own clothing line. I mean, she's so into different things. She's learning how to sew. She gets paid to design different stuff to have somebody come and give them a makeover. And so she's like, let's do a beauty point. And I said, okay. Tell me more about it. Show me that show me something. And so she came up with different ideas, talked to different girls, and before you know it, everything starts to come in point. And I said, you know what? You're right. At the end of the day, the number one consumer who will not give up what she's doing is a woman. You can't tell a woman to stop doing her nails. You can't tell her to stop doing her hair. You can't tell her to stop going to shop.
That's facts.
Or you won't have that woman.
That's
you know
facts.
what I mean?
Yep.
So even in COVID, guess what was still selling? Beauty products.
Wow.
Women still had to be beautiful, bro. They were beautiful at home, but they were still buying products, bro. And so that was kind of where it came from. And then also, I love the fashion game, so I love seeing that can happen.
Nice. So how'd you find the deal?
Through PropStream, y'all.
Again?
Through PropStream.
Man,
so on
okay.
this one, guys, I was driving to go drop off my kids at my mother-in-law's house. I saw a piece of land. I pulled over, put on the hazards, skipped it, called it, and locked it up before I dropped my kids off at their grandmother's house. Let the weekend go by. Here came Monday. I went ahead and put my earnest money and closed on it that following Friday because I couldn't pass up on the deal. I got basically a $185,000 property on CAD, which is worth $250,000 on market, and I got it for $60 grand.
Dang, so you could have just closed on this and listed it for $250 just like that.
Just like that.
And made 200 grand.
Yep. But
Damn.
imagine what it's going to be in 2 years from now.
Oh yeah. That's short-term thing. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying for the viewers, like,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, he could have literally just bought this, closed on it, listed it, and made 200,000. Oh man, after everything, maybe like 150 or 175. But still,
That's still good.
that's some racks.
Yes, especially when you came in with 60. You know,
Crazy,
so
bro.
and I
that
got
you borrowed from your tia.
right? And you know how much that skip trace cost? 12 cents. 12 cents got me a $250,000 property, and then of course 60,000 to close. But that 12 cents is what initiated the opportunity.
Crazy. So like there used to be an app that a lot of people use. I forgot what it was called, but it was very similar to what you're saying.
Landglide?
Something like that. And I used it one time, and I was just driving through. I was like on Penn Street or something, like
Yeah.
over there, but 151. And I saw an abandoned like little 6-unit apartment boarded up. I used that like what he's talking about, so I know it works. Called him. Hey, yeah, actually I am selling. We'll be there from Austin. We'll be down there just to check it out tomorrow. You want to meet us? I made like 30 grand.
Oof.
Boom, real quick when I was
Yeah.
first starting. So I know it works.
It does, bro.
So man, we dropped so many bars that y'all have to, at least if you're watching, subscribe at the very least. That's all we ask. But for the viewers that want to know more about you, man, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, guys, at realestate_hero. You can also find me on Facebook at realestate_hero, guys. And I'm always dropping gems and reels, anything that I can do to help you along your journey.
Yeah, man, I see that you're definitely what I call a go-giver. You got that mentality, that abundance. You can never, hoard nothing to yourself. You give it all out.
Yes, sir.
So that's definitely why you're here. Yeah, I've seen it, man. So
I have to, man. Nobody helped me along the way, so I feel like I owe it to give it to everybody else.
I feel you on that. Yeah, so man, I see your success, man. You're doing great things. I love where you're taking it. And guys, you know where to follow us, JR Clutch on all platforms. Make sure you hit subscribe button, share with all your friends. And before we go though, I gotta ask you, what does clutch mean to you?
Clutch means Kobe, bro. It means at the buzzer you call clutch and it's done, bro. Like that's the one. You know what I mean? So
okay.
yeah, I
like
love it,
that.
man. Thanks for having me here, guys. I hope that we can give all of your viewers a free 7-day trial on PropStream, and I hope that they can all become 6-figure earners, man.
Gotcha. So guys, what we were saying earlier, and I really meant it. Drop a comment if you want to see us drop a vlog on this industrial wholesaling. If we get, how many we got to get to drop the vlog?
Whatever you think. You know your audience better than I do.
Let's get at least 50.
50. Let's
50
work.
comments.
Let's work.
We get 50 comments, we'll drop it for you, all right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Like always, stay clutch.